But all of that is very special.
Okay, I'm back.
Because this is something you created, and it's in the direction that you wanted to go in, and that's sweet.
Yeah.
I created it and I grew it, and I mean, I've worked hard. So
I love it.
anyone that has a successful podcast or show, I mean, nothing is just handed to you. Like, you need to work, period. I think,
of course.
I think any business in life, like, it just, people think, oh, there's no business person that works for themselves that is not working like a dog. We can make it look glamorous on the front end, but behind the scenes, man, there's a lot going on. I don't care how many people you have work for you or how much help, it's still yours. Like, your name is still on it at the end of the day, right? Yep. And no matter who you have work for you or with you, nobody cares as much as you do when it's your name, period. Never. I don't care if you're the best employee in the world. So that's a whole nother story about, you know, what was I gonna say?
He wants us to start a podcast. I said, when do you think I have time?
He's like, oh yeah, like we have time.
When do you think I
think it would be fun on the podcast.
You
guys would be great. What would what would it be? Like, about fashion? Yeah,
fashion. We do like what not to wear, what to wear. We could critique all the celebrities. He's afraid though, because if we critique all the celebrities on fashion, that's gonna we can't just be nice to all of them. That might cause some issues.
When you do it on the red carpet, it's one thing. But then if I sit there and I go through all the clothes that they wear on the shows, sometimes I'm like, what were you thinking? Did you not think that angle was going to make you look ugly?
Yeah.
Like, seriously, there's a wind blowing and you're wearing a micro mini and your ass is hanging out in my face. That's a little much for me to be able to see. And those panties, really not flattering, because I can see the lines from the outside.
Like, he knows all the details.
That print is not your print. Like, there's so much I could go into.
You guys could be like a modern day fashion police.
I think so. Yeah.
In a podcast. But the thing about that is, 500 shows later, you're gonna have to really, will that spill over into your business? Will, like, a Cynthia Bailey say, bitch, I'm giving you good money and I'm a good client and you're tearing me? I mean, I'm just saying, I don't think
that's my concern. Yeah, that's my concern.
But they would appreciate it coming from a professional, not those people that just sit at home and then talk out of their ass. It's different when I say it, because my critiques are not about putting you down or talking about what you did wrong. It's also trying to guide you and help you in identifying what you need to look for next. What is it, the direction that you can take? Because not everybody has the same creative eye.
Right.
And they see themselves differently. And it's for me to be able to give them that direction. And I think that's what's going to help. It's not just talking about them. It's being able to give them value in the information that I see.
Possibly, but that's still a whole nother, like you said, a whole nother business. Like, I don't even know if we have time for it. Who knows? I will just continue to be guests be chumps on Jeff's show.
Yeah, I will.
And yours.
I was gonna say, you guys can come back here anytime.
That's easier.
That's the thing, that's the thing. What was I gonna say? Okay, so, well, yes, you can come back here anytime. You would have to critique the people, though. That's the thing. But what do you think of, like I said, fashion police, like red carpets we talked about? Like, what did you think of, like, Joan and Melissa?
I did Joan on E! Television when they first started Fashion Police.
He was working with Joan Rivers.
Really? Now, I've seen every episode, so tell me all about your involvement.
Yeah, so Melissa wasn't that involved in the very beginning, but it was Joan when they first signed on, before she went to TV Guide channel.
Yeah, it was TV before
TV.
It was before TV Guide
or something.
Very beginning of E, before TV Guide.
Yeah. So I was working with Joan doing the Fashion Police. That's because I used to do commentary on the red carpet stuff, which was really exciting.
I still can't think of red carpets without thinking.
Without Joan Rivers, right? Yeah.
And who are you wearing?
Because she humanized it. She made it so authentic to real people watching at home that don't have a clue about who this actress is, don't have a clue about what show they were in or what movie they represented, and getting to know the real person behind all of that.
Yeah, but before Joan Rivers, asked that question, and who are you wearing? Nobody cared. Nobody asked that question until Joan Rivers did.
Well, because she had no other questions, because she had no idea who they were. She's like, so who are you wearing?
It's true though, like
She
she created, to me, was a huge part of creating like the business of fashion and
Absolutely.
celebrity.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you can't take that away from her. Who are you wearing put money into so many people's pockets, right? It's like it became a thing. I mean, have you ever sent dresses? Like, what do you think about that? Like the relationship between fashion and these award shows, and now, you know, paying millions to have so-and-so wear it at the Oscars, and where do you fall on that? You know, and it's it's changed, right? Like,
yeah, but we don't need to do that. We don't do that.
Yeah.
We don't pay a celebrity to wear our dress. They'll come and wear his dress because it's beautiful. It's fit to their body. He knows exactly what is going to work for them, how it's going to work for them, and it's such a special piece. And the way they work with us and work with him, that's why they come.
Realistically, when I pay money to go see their art, it's the same as they pay me to wear my art.
Exactly.
And it best represents a feeling, an emotion. It evokes different, emotions that you have, that you carry forward, or the scene, or the idea of the movie, or the characteristics that you'd like to be able to portray, or the way you want to represent yourself that day.
But again, David, that's not the celebrities that are in the business of charging the money to wear a designer's gown. That's the managers, the agents, the publicists that are in that game. And I don't like it.
And you guys never have done that, like where?
No, I won't do it.
No, we don't.
I've turned down A-listers that their management has asked for money for us to put it in the gown. We said no.
I'm like, why? like why? Because you need a commission?
Yeah.
No.
Well, yes. And do you get those calls though, like from the agents, the managers, like, hey, you know, Nicole?
Sure, we have. Sure.
You want, and you're just like, we just don't do that.
Of course.
Yeah.
And it's and it doesn't, and I appreciate the fact that they tried. That's beautiful. Then that just tells me I'm still top 5, but it's just our decision at the end of the day to respect the client, respect the individual, respect the art, right?
Right.
It's art, like you said. You pay for their movies, you pay for their theater. This is
I mean, if you're getting $30 million to do a movie and you've only worked on it for 3 weeks, and
then you want to charge the designer to wear his gown, that just doesn't make sense to me.
It diminishes the art form that you are trying to then tell other people to come to see. So I feel like we're all the same, and it just doesn't make sense to do that.
That makes sense. Do you think now that we're kind of, you said the mask mandate is being lifted in LA, people are getting outside. Do you think as the world opens, I mean, it's more open than it was the last time we talked, but like, as it really opens, do you think we're going to see this like resurgence of like, a lot of the stuff you do, like gowns and extravagance? Like, do you think people are just
100%? People want to get up, put heels on, put on a couture gown, and get out to an award show.
Every single event that I have moving forward is the big poofy princess. I'm never going to wear this again, and I don't care if it hangs in my closet. I'm actually going to order a mannequin from you, put it in my lobby, so everybody can come and watch it.
We have so many mothers mothers of the bride and mothers of the groom that are wearing big princess ball gowns,
and they're not worried.
Their kids' weddings, and they don't give a fuck. They're like, this is how I want to look.
They're not worried about upstaging